Alright, Pit Crew, welcome back to Aries Garage. It's been a while, so I have a little bit to update you guys on. I've gotten quite a bit done. I have a lot more car parts here than I did before. So real quick, actually, before I jump into that, my website is up and running. I have quite a bit of merch on there. I have hats, a few different hoodies, a few different t-shirts. Go check them out. I'll have a link to them down below. And I've also gotten everything connected to my social media pages, so you can shop through my Instagram page and my Facebook page and stuff like that. So just go check that stuff out. Let me know what you think of it. Anyways, yeah, let's jump into it. So the first thing I'll update you guys on is, let's see, I have quite a bit of new stuff here. I ordered, this one's not as exciting, but I ordered a new thermostat housing. So since last video I talked about how I want to put my thermostat switch for the fans in the side of the head rather than the top of my thermostat housing. That way I can have it a little bit more tucked and neat looking. And I went with some ARP head bolts. These aren't studs, but these can be reused quite a bit. I think like 3 to 5 times is the recommended by ARP. Some people said you can go a little bit more, but we'll just see. One other part, well, that happened. All right, another part that I ordered is going to be, if I can open it. Okay, I got polyurethane engine mounts. So these is what you have to do. Actually, I have one right here. You have to cut apart your old ones, the casing that they're in, and put them together. So essentially, you come and you drill out, let me set this down. You drill out these right here, and it comes apart, and then whenever you bolt in your casing with that in there, it sandwiches it and it holds it together. It's really crazy to me. For less than like 20 bucks, you can get brand new body mounts that come with the casing. These were 80 bucks and they don't come with the casing, so I don't quite understand that. But that's a thing. So I decided to go with that. I figured while I was in here, might as well. My game plan is to finish up the engine. Actually, I went ahead and just dropped off the car parts, my intake manifold and my headers today. But I want to do engine stuff, and then I should be able, within one day, be able to dedicate to getting all this figured out, replacing my detent cable or kickdown cable, whatever you want to call it, and my engine mounts. So that should be nice. Should be able to knock all that out and then get rid of, maybe do some wire tucking and stuff like that. Engine wise, let me talk to you guys about what's going on. So I kind of thought, or as you guys know, I'm going to be taking the 1103 cam that was in this engine and putting it in my square body. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, I'll go ahead and throw the new cam in my engine, and I'll degree it, and I'll have a good practice at it. I'll have everything figured out on how to do it, and then I'll show you guys how to on that engine, on the square body engine. Well, this is where I'm at now. I believe I found actual top dead center, but now I'm very confused. Like, I've hit a point of being confused. The new cam is in. This is my Cloy's timing gear set. It's really cool. It has this bearing behind there versus not having the bearing. I don't know how big of a difference it's actually gonna make, but I do have a bearing back there. So it's definitely, I believe, gonna be a decent little upgrade. Yeah, this has been the biggest pain in the butt, and let me explain why. So yeah, you can do your research on it all you want on the topic and try to figure it out. There's so many different methods, and so I thought, you know what, this kit comes with instructions, so I'll just use the instructions that comes with the kit. Well, Jegs is really screwed up. Okay, let me show you. To start off, okay, this doesn't sound really stupid, but I was just trying to follow the instructions, okay? Keep that in mind. The, top dead center is always done with piston number 1. I fully know that, and I knew that going into this, but the instructions weren't very clear. So here, it says that the number 1, to get your number 1 piston at approximate top dead center. But then it shows on all of these pictures, it shows using the number 2 cylinder. And I don't know, that makes no sense to me, even if that was a Ford engine or something, it makes no sense to me. So I have no clue. So I went against what I thought was right, and I was messing with number 2 cylinder. I don't know why. I was just following the instructions, and like 30 minutes in, I was like, okay, I'm not getting the right numbers. There's no way this can be right. And so I tried it with the number 1 cylinder finally, and I got it. So I got that. Right now, I am at the stage of measuring lift, and I have no clue kind of what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I believe I have this zeroed out, but it talked about having enough I don't even freaking know, guys. It's there's a lot more work that goes into this than I thought. And again, I'm gonna sit down in a minute and watch a video and see if maybe I can't find one that does make sense with this kit that I have. But I figured we'll just see. I have, like, I understand the concept of this, and I have to. This isn't one of those situations where I can just do dot to dot on this. I have to degree it because I'm switching to a timing pointer, and so I have to have it degreed. So yeah, I need to get it figured out. It's not that I don't know. Like, I fully understand the concept and the instruction. It's just for whatever reason I guess it does. Like, one question I'm having is, how does all this work when my cam and crankshaft is connected? How am I doing? Like, the end results I don't understand. The instructions on this Jegs kit just come to an end. It ends, let's see, let me find where it ends. It's so confusing. These instructions are complete garbage. So if someone from Jegs is watching this, y'all need to step up your game. Well, actually, yeah, so the last part of instructions are for finding the center line. But maybe I'm just overthinking it, and I don't know. But the instructions just end, and I don't know what to do after I figure out I don't know. I'll get it figured out though. I know this makes me sound like a terrible mechanic. This is totally different and a little bit more in depth. But yeah, so I have my one head is painted. I'm gonna show you guys. It is a little bit darker than I thought it was gonna be. I did order another color. I didn't tell anyone, I don't think. But the color I went with, I don't even remember what it's called. Hang on. That's gloss clear coat. I think it's anodized. Yeah, anodized red is what I went with. Okay, so the head came out a little bit dark. I'll give you guys a better view of that later, but it came out a little bit dark. Hopefully I'm able to get the engine to match that color. Hopefully it turns out the same. I did paint my water pump, but the paint started cracking on me in a few spots. So I will probably, I just blew that fuse. I will probably have to sand that down a little bit, do another coat of primer. I think it's because I didn't let the paint, or the water pump itself was a little bit cold versus the temperature of the paint. So I think that's what went wrong. And also here I have all my lifters and stuff sorted out, that way they can go in the square body. Okay, I'm going to now that I believe I have you guys updated on just about everything, I'm gonna figure out where to go from degreeing this cam and where to start at, and try doing this differently, I guess. I'll turn the GoPro on whenever I get it figured out. Okay, so here's what I've done. I have set up my dial indicator here instead of using a piston stop, and I have my degree wheel hooked up here with my pointer going off of my water pump bolt hole. Okay, so using the dial indicator, immediately I noticed a huge difference in how easy this was. Don't get me wrong, it's easy to find top dead center anyway, but this allowed me to look at the numbers as I was bumping it over. I was able to I could watch it get to its highest point, and then immediately I would start to see it drop back down. So I was able to find the peak and zero it out. So right now I am reading at 4 degrees. That is kind of hard to see, but it's reading right at 4 degrees. I believe at this point I need to move my pointer over to the top dead center location, which is this right here. But I'm gonna do some research just to make sure that is correct before I move on. Again, this is probably typical information. A lot of you guys watching this video are probably already know how to do this. I don't know. So don't give me crap. I'm just trying to learn and make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So I'm gonna make sure that I need to move this over to the top dead center, and then we can move on, I believe, to measuring the valves, but I could be wrong. But again, I'm just gonna figure this out one step at a time. After being frustrated for hours, I finally got top dead center figured out. The issue is the dial indicator on this Jegs kit is complete garbage. It's super janky is the best way to explain it. The way it sets up just is not all that great. But I got top dead center figured out, and now I was trying to measure low lift. But I'm getting stuck on that. I've been watching a my vintage iron video. Go check him out. He's a really awesome guy, super knowledgeable. But he's using a different tool, and it's just not working out well for me. But we're getting there one step at a time, I guess. But the head is painted. I need to do the clear coat on it. I went ahead and did a coat of primer on the thermostat housing. The water pump, yeah, I started sanding it, but I'm not having great luck with it. That's a very awkward part to try to sand. I wish I had a sandblaster. It has me tempted to go get a sandblaster. I think that's about it. I'll work on this again tomorrow and keep working on it for as much as I can. I believe that's about it. Again, one day I need to figure out which day I want to do all my engine-based stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and check out for the day. And then I guess for you guys, it'll be a split second, but I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, so after a while, I think I got it figured out. I could be wrong on what I need to do next, but let me explain. So I've measured my lift before and after top dead center, 50 thousandths, so on. So I've lifted the lifter up, its peak, gone back 50 thousandths. I went past 50 thousandths and then went forward in the correct motion of the engine, so clockwise, and got it right to 50 thousandths. And I came up with that 158, hang on, I was screwing around with something. Okay, I came up with 158 degrees, and then I did the opposite. So then I went back forward in the correct motion, got it to max out again, and then on its way back down, so after top dead center, I brought the lifter back down, got it to 50 thousandths, and I got 65. You add those together, you get 223. Divide that by 2, and you get 111.5. Okay, and then so you got 111.5 degrees of lobe center on the intake, and the cam card calls for 109 degrees. So I believe I need to retard the crankshaft on the keyway here I have here by 2 degrees. Technically, let's see, to advance the camshaft 1 degree, place 2. Okay, so in order to fix it, you have to do, so each 2 on the crankshaft is 1 on the cam, and I need to go down 2. So I believe I would need to do 4R on the crankshaft keyway. So I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to run the numbers again. I believe this is correct. I'm not 100% sure here. This is the point where all these videos just end, and there's no explanation, and this is why I was getting so confused. Is what I'm going to do, though. I was smart enough to line up this top dead center with the top dead center keyway on my balancer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the engine to top dead center, leave this exactly the same, so my measurements are the exact same, not do anything, and then try this one more time. And then we'll just, like, I'm gonna get rid of, like, I ran the numbers twice to make sure that my 158 and 65 are accurate, and they are. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this real quick and see if I'm closer to the 109. Now I'm gonna be half a degree off by numbers, but I think that's not too bad. You know, the video I was watching, the guy who had hundreds of thousands of views, he was a whole degree off. So I think being half a degree off is not bad at all, in my opinion, for the first time. But yeah, so we're gonna run these. I'm gonna get through this, and I'll update you guys in a second. All right, pit crew, I finally got it. So I didn't need to retard it by 4. I needed to advance it by 2. I don't understand that. It kind of makes sense if I don't think about it, but I didn't get 109.5. I got 110. I tried, whenever I went the other way, when I did 4 degrees retarded, I ended up with 113.5. And then whenever I did 4 degrees advanced, I got 106.5. And then this time I did 2 degrees advanced and I got 110. So I'm not quite for sure. But yeah, so we're within reason. I mean, 111.5 wasn't bad at all. 110 is just a little bit better. It's going to make everything a lot easier tuning it. You know, I won't have to figure out why 20 degrees or 16 degrees of base time won't work. I might end up running 12. I don't know. I'm going to do some deeper research into it. But we have that figured out. The person who's powder coating my headers at the high school has been sending me pictures. They are sandblasted, ready for powder coating. He said hopefully this week or next. So I imagine this week. But yeah, let me show you the head real quick. I just pulled the tape off, and this looks so good. It is a little bit darker than I wanted, but overall, you know, it looks better than black, and you know, it'll match the engine block. My timing cover, and let's see if I can find it. My timing cover and oil pan are both Mylodon, this zinc color. So I think that's gonna pop it as well. And I went ahead, so the color that my wheel wells and all that stuff is this metallic flake. And I just painted the thermostat housing that color and clear coat. It's got tons of clear coat. Everything's gonna be super protected. Everything has at least 2 coats of primer, at least 3 coats of paint, and at least 3 of clear, which I overdid it, but you know, I didn't want to have to worry about anything. And the cool part is I've barely used half a can of clear and just maybe 3/4 of the red paint. So this Duplicolor stuff is, you know, Rust-Oleum I use is what I normally use, but I go through it super fast. This stuff, I have tons of it left, so that's really cool. This other head is here. I need to I use this valve cover as a cover on the heads. I need to sand them down, and I want to do a fresh coat. I never primed them or anything, and they never turned out that great. So I want to prime them, add some of the fresh metallic paint to it, and do the clear coat. And I think there's going to be a lot more durable. These ones, that paint just didn't hold up well, but I didn't do any of the right way. No prep work. All right, pit crew, let me update you guys real quick. It's the day after I degreed the cam. I'm having some issues with my GoPro, so the footage in this video is gonna be weird because of that. The GoPro keeps randomly turning off. It's not overheating or anything, it just randomly stops recording. So I ran into issues with that, so the video might be a little bit weird because of that. But also, I had planned to end this video right after I finished degreeing the cam, and I was gonna move on to the rest of everything else that needs to get done on the car. But I heard back today that the headers and intake manifold are ready to be picked up today. I'm gonna pick them up tomorrow though, which will be Thursday. And today I plan to knock out the engine bay, which means engine mounts, kick down cable, and maybe some wire management, hopefully, I would like to say. And I would like to paint my engine block. The headers, not the headers, the head is done. As you guys can see, both of them, I don't remember where I left off in the video last footage from the other day. So those are all done, looks great. A little darker than I wanted, but I mean, it looks great. In the right lighting, it looks bright, which is what I wanted. I liked that it changed based off your lighting. So anyways, what we need to do today, like I was saying, we need to paint the engine block, which I have the original timing cover I'm gonna throw on, so that way I don't have to tape any of this off. And then since we're keeping this oil pan and I want it to stay that zinc color, we're going to throw on the stock oil pan and paint with that on there. Then we don't have to worry about getting paint on any of those new parts or taping them off or anything. So the only taping off I have to do is gonna be the heads, and where the heads go anyway, and the intake manifold location, or the valley. So my lights are flickering. Also, I apologize, it is very windy out today. Like, we live on top of a hill. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed. I think we're having some power shortages as well. But anyway, I live on top of a hill, and so the wind is really bad up here. I know you guys normally hear birds and stuff outside, but you might hear the wind in this video, and I apologize. But anyways, moving on, I'm going to kind of like reset here. You guys know how I like to keep everything clean before I start new projects. So I'm gonna clean up all my tools from degreeing the cam. Also, for me, since I don't have a bolt in my balancer, the Olsa Tools pry bars, if you guys check out my TikTok, I have a cool video on those. But anyway, those helped out and made this job possible. Literally couldn't have done it without them. So yeah, go check those out. I have a coupon code for Olsa Tools down below. Moving on, I'm gonna jump into this and figure out where to get started. All right guys, so let me show you exactly what I'm doing here to get these engine mounts done, because somehow or another with all the tools I have in my garage, I don't have the right drill bit. Mine are too small. So what I did is, right here's the rivet, is I took my chisel and I went upwards at an angle like this with just one hit, and created some weak points. As you can see, I literally just did one hit on each side and it knocked it right out, less than a minute. And then I'm taking my chisel now and I'm hammering it down, and it already worked on one side and it's just popping it right out. So if you don't have a drill or a strong enough drill or a drill bit that'll work for this, this works just fine. Literally just one chisel and you're good to go. So I'm gonna knock this one out, and then I'm gonna do the other side as well. And I'm probably gonna paint these black just so I don't have to worry about them rusting out. So essentially the idea here is when you go to put them, like, you're separating the two pieces that are riveted together, but when you go to put your bolts in here, here, and at the bottom, it's actually sandwiching them, so you don't technically have to re-rivet it or weld it, but I might add a tack weld between the two layers just to make it stronger. It does come with zip ties. Each engine mount kit comes with zip ties so you can keep it sandwiched together until you have it in the vehicle. But I might just add some tack welds just to be safe, but I haven't made up my mind yet. So I got this one apart and I found something really interesting. So if you can see, this is the old engine mount here. It's not touching there and it's not touching here, and it's a pretty loose fit. I mean, this engine mount, I mean, the rubber on it is dry rotted and bad. But over on the new one, if you look, you actually have to kind of force it in there a little bit, and it's actually making contact on top and bottom. So this is actually going to support the engine a lot better. Not that I was really having any issues with it. One thing I know that's going to make this a little bit difficult is on these old ones. Hang on one second. Since you had that, they're so tight. Okay, since you had that little bit of play up and down here, you could take a pry bar in between and kind of move them a little bit and help line the bolts up. So I'm not going to have that ability anymore, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult installing the engine, just because I'm doing this, I do all this on my own. So trying to see which way I need to move the engine with the engine hoist and stuff like that can be difficult. So I'm gonna make this is long. This is gonna make, in the long end, it's gonna make it a little bit harder on me, but it's also gonna be a better upgrade overall. So that's gonna be nice. I'm just gonna shoot some black paint on these. I think I'm not gonna do too much cleaning up on them. I just want them to look somewhat presentable. They're not gonna be noticed or really seen, but you know, for whatever reason, if someone does see them, I don't want it to look like I didn't. Yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm not going for perfection on them, but I'm gonna clean them up essentially. All right, guys, I know this is completely out of order, but I have the engine halfway in, but I ran into an issue, and I wanted to throw it into this video since I talked about them in it. When you're switching over to these polyurethane motor mounts, if I were to slow down and read the directions, I would have done this a lot sooner. It matters the direction that you place them in there. So hang on one second, this is very difficult to do by myself, or with one hand. Okay, so when you put them in there, of course the clam shells have a specific way they have to go. The wider bolt holes go at the top and the closer ones go at the bottom. But on top of that, the orientation of this matters. I believe you want the logo to be upside down for Fortunes. I hope you guys can see that. The logo, you don't want it right side up, you want it upside down. And it depends model to model, of course, but that's the issue I ran into. I thought it made sense to put the logo down, and I got the engine halfway in, and I had to stop and swap these. And if you know anything about Novas and Fortune Novas, you know this is a near impossible task to do. So I had to pull it all the way back out and get them in there. So I'm gonna go and throw these back in there, and then you guys will continue on to wherever I was at on this video. All right, pit crew, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I didn't get as much done on Friday as I wanted to. Today's Saturday. I got my torque wrench back around 9 o'clock at night instead of earlier in the day like I'm supposed to, but that's no big deal. Hopefully it won't take me long to assemble this, and I can still get all this done today, which is Saturday. And I'm gonna put all that into the next video, and hopefully you guys will see me assemble it and get it running all in the same video. That is my game plan. Just a recap, we're leaving off the engine bay is essentially ready. The engine's all painted, just needs to be assembled. Everything is ready to go. So I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, pit crew, and I'll catch you guys later.
We'll be right back.